Hey guys, welcome. On today's edition of our digital anchor charts, we will talk about standard 6EE2, which says that we can read, write, and evaluate expressions in which letters stand for numbers. So there are actually three parts to this standard, A, B, and C. We're going to cover parts A and B in this video, and part C will be in a secondary video. So part A has a learning target that says, I can write expressions that record operations with numbers and variables. So that word variable may be new to you, may not be new to you, I'm not sure. But if it is new to you, a variable is a letter or symbol that represents one or more numbers. So for example, right here, in this algebraic expression, it says m minus 12. So we don't necessarily know the value of m. M can be any number, but it is that value, m, and then we're subtracting 12 from it. So the variable in this expression is m. Down here, you have the number 3 multiplied by the variable p. Again, I don't know the value of p. I don't have to know the value of p right now. All I need to know is that p represents a number, and I'm multiplying it by 3, and then I'm taking 11 away from it. So if I gave you a value for p, you could substitute it into that. But that expression could be used to solve any number of problems with the value of p. Okay, so that's a variable. Basically, this standard says you can go back and forth between words and an algebraic expression. Now, the difference in an expression and an algebraic expression is that an algebraic expression contains a variable. So in this case, we are given the words the sum of 9 and n. So n can be any number, but we're simply going to write that as 9 plus n, because sum means the answer to an addition problem. All right, and so here we're given the algebraic expression m minus 12, and we want to write that as words. So I might say 12 less than m. Okay, so I want to be clear. If I say the difference between m and 12, that might get a little bit confusing because I don't know the value of m. So I just want to be real clear with my words, and I'm going to say 12 less than the letter m. 6 more than 3 multiplied by x. So I'm going to multiply 3 times x, and I'm going to add 6 to it. So I'm going to say 6 more than 3 times x. Now, when you are multiplying a number, this is actually a coefficient. We'll talk about that in just a minute. A number by a variable, you simply write the variable right beside the number, and this means to multiply. Okay, if we have a coefficient and a variable side by side, that means that we're going to multiply those together. Last but not least, we have 3p minus 11. So I might say 11 less than the product of 3 and p. Simple. This is very much like your 5th grade standard OA2, except that it specifically includes variables. So the only difference between the OA2 expression standard and the 6EE2 expression standard is the inclusion of the variables. So easy, we're going to learn these together. If you've got this one, you've got the other one. Because if you understand the sum of 9 and n, you're going to be able to write that, as well as if I had said the sum of 9 and 6. 9 plus 6, 9 plus m. N, very, very similar. Okay, the second part of the standard, which is 2b, okay, I forgot to put that, says that I can identify parts of an expression using mathematical terms. Now, some of these mathematical terms specifically listed, sum, product, quotient, are terms that we already know, but there are some new terms here. The first one actually is term, and the second is coefficient. So specifically, I want to focus on those two new words. A term is separated by addition or subtraction. It can be a number, a variable, a product, or a quotient. So it's basically anything in an algebraic expression that's separated by an addition or subtraction sign. So in this expression, 5h plus 2s, you have two terms. 1 is 5H, okay, right here. That's a term. That's actually the product of 5 and H. That's the first term, okay? The second term is 2S. Oh, I blurred. Okay, sorry. 2S. That's the second term. That term is the product of 2 and S. But in this problem, we have this expression, two terms. One is 5H and one is 2S. Just remember that terms are separated by addition and subtraction. So if you only had the 5H, you would only have one term because there's nothing else with it. But because we have two things separated by an addition sign, we have two terms. Now, a coefficient is a number that is multiplied by a variable. So when we're talking multiplying, I've got the 5H here and I've got the 2S here. The variable here is the H. So the coefficient is the 5. And the variable here is an S. The coefficient is a 2. So to assess this standard, you may well be given an expression such as this one, asked to identify the terms and asked to identify the coefficients in the problem. So the terms here are 5H and 2S. The coefficients here are 5 and 2. If you're asked to list the variables, they are H and S. All right, guys, have a great day.